The idea of enforcing a law to kick the academically less competent out of the public education system is in and of itself detrimental and exists mainly to maintain the systems the elite need us strapped within. Of all theories I've heard, this, by far, has stuck with me the most. It occurred to me, then, that I only kept thinking about those words because, to a certain degree, I wanted to believe in them. To believe in the idea that maybe, just maybe, us students aren't miserable failures. Not the way the society tells us anyway. Because maybe, just maybe, it's the system that failed us. In the search of answers, I found myself knocking at the door of Mr. Jusery, a tutor to low-achieving students in secondary, and asked him to share a piece of his mind on the matter. The latter told me very promptly.
Qui vous peut dire un abus là, qui a été l'effet mental de les enfants là?
Elle est fait irréparable. C'est pas. L'effet mental est extraordinaire. On trouve ça beaucoup dans une behaviors, dans une manière de comportement. Il y a des enfants qui sont petits, mais sont sexuellement actifs. Quand vous êtes sexuellement actif, c'est une bonne sexual encounters avec pas donc ça c'est pour bien traiter et top et comment nous vivons là-bas, comment nous vivons donc beaucoup aussi là ce nouvel travail là il y a beaucoup d'enfants qui vivent dans le shelter et nous restent dans le shelter pendant des années. Alors, je n'ai pas connu la différence entre le shelter et la réalité. Je n'ai pas connu parce qu'il connaît. Et la personne qui fait du jazz, il sait à ces affaires-là. Mon travail, je pense que ça. Mon parent, je peux dire, je peux peut-être pour café, pour faire, pas qu'à ma cause. je n'ai pas connu ça, je n'ai pas connu ça valait l'argent. Et beaucoup, dans plusieurs cas, arrivé que ça va des enfants-là qui restent dans le shelter pendant des années, pendant des temps, ils sont sortis dans la réalité, dans la société. Je n'ai pas connu comment faire. Alors je retrouve ça pour gagner de l'argent facile, pour passer sur la affaire que je peux gagner normalement. C'est à la prostitution, c'est de l'argent facile, vite fait. Ça va.
Weren't being given equal chances in life, much less as a student. And so, to follow with my query, I emailed the university I myself attend in hopes of underprivileged students writing back. During the time of my wait, however, it struck to me that, in my own surroundings, there was a lot more going on that I was aware. A first cousin of mine, for instance, a lad of my age, mere months of difference. He had been living on the streets for well, as long as he and I could remember.
Est-ce qu'il cause tu fais la guerre, tu peux battre ça?
Oui, c'est vrai.
Qui ça tu veux pas de ça là?
Moi pas c'est pas maman c'est pas moi pas.
Tu es battre ça?
Tu es dit oh toujours des affaires. Tout à fait. Bah.
Mais quand tu tiens des enfants, la troisième, deuxième, dans ça là, tu peux trouver une situation comme ça devant te liger. Comment tu peux ressentir toi?
Je me sens bien, stressé. C'est maintenant j'ai la guerre ça là. Problème, maintenant si la game va pas se trop beau ici après stressé, c'est qu'à rester. Tracas. Stressé, fait. Là, je passé jusqu'à petit moi. First, j'avais maternelle, first, seconde. Troisième, là, depuis ça un problème, la guerre.
Depuis ça, qui tu commences à garder ça veut dire.
Là, balance séparé, là, moi, j'ai un problème. Là, moi, comment se fait? J'ai répondu, carrément, là, moi, comment se fait? Non.
Non? Est-ce qu'il te dit dans le bâtiment CDU, il y a un rendez-vous pour toi le CDU?
Non.
I remembered, from my own childhood days, as his mother and grandmother would think of him more as a custody battle than a child in depression. No one stepped in at that time. It's been a decade since and no one has stepped in yet. Akalesh has had 2 cases of drug overdose already. They say the third one will be fatal to him. But that's all they do, they talk. After that, I tried to keep my head up and spirits high. Surely, some of the emails I'd received must have been from people whom the education system didn't fail. We were in UNI, after all. Out of the 6 replies I received, 1 had parents in the lower working class, an active and hard-working young woman, truly. 1 had been working since grade 11. He promptly said that the experience had made him better fit for the job market with more first-hand experience. 1 of them was sexually abused. She explained that, even though he took a toll on her, in the long run, she managed to turn the pain into strength. She wants to create awareness on the issue and help other people who stand where she stood. The remaining 3 responses were all from people with mental illnesses. Bipolar disorder, burnouts and executive dysfunction, and anxiety. I realized, then, that the vast majority of students I have met with have, at some point or another, struggled with invisible handicaps like mental illnesses. A while later, it dawned on me that not a single survey was made by the Mauritian government in all its years of existence and activity, about how the students, the final consumers of the education system, felt about the education system. Not one. Not one on physically handicapped students, not one on children who have needed child protective services, not one on mentally handicapped children and not one on children who just couldn't afford.
Franchement, moi pas pensé que l'éducation est aussi importante. Bien sûr, si on veut un docteur, ingénieur ou avocat, ou business à l'éducation, hein. Mais comme on dit aujourd'hui, tu veux n'a plus valeur pour ce skills qui se dégrade.
There has been a vast influx of small businesses growing locally and internationally. More often than not, these successful ventures are led by people who scored low academically, people who would have never made it past grade 11 with the 5-credit law. Yet, they have higher salaries and standards of living today than some of their graduate counterparts. We are a tediously long way from a truly egalitarian and equally beneficial educational system in Mauritius. This doesn't, however, mean that we cannot bring change. How we can help? With measures such as making tertiary education free again and directing more funds towards development of academic infrastructure, the government has offered an opportunity of growth to the public. 1. By making the arts, crafts, and entertainment sectors mainstream work fields, for example, we enable people from poorer backgrounds to thrive via their own skill set instead of qualifications they may be gate-kept from. 2. Normalizing diversification of income and encouraging flexible work times makes the workplace more accessible and supportive to people struggling with disabilities, abuse, and financial crisis. Someone aged 16 trying to escape an abusive household, for example, can gain monetary resources by investing in cryptocurrencies, working part-time, and directing a small business. 3. Constantly updating work systems and the academic area with newer technology eases burdens on mentally and physically challenged individuals by limiting transport and the need for physical persons. 4. Train teachers to be better able of detecting signs of mental handicaps in students and deal with differently learning children. 5. Be involved in activism and lobbying. By keeping in touch with leaders of the area and hosting awareness campaigns, change can be brought in the bureau and law itself. This will allow protective laws and development projects to be brought up and funded. Remember that you have sat through long minutes of this documentary because you care. Act upon it. Documentary